Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the best makeup releases of 2021 so far. Obviously, this is strictly my opinion. I have not tried every makeup product that has been launched so far this year. As far as new releases go, these are the products that I find myself reaching for the most. So I thought the best way to do this was to separate the items by category. So I'm going to start with foundations. My top 3 foundation releases for 2021 are the newly reformulated CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear. I have an entire video dedicated to this product. There was a little bit of confusion at the time that I posted that video because this had not rolled out yet in all stores. So some people were buying the old version, thinking that was the one that I was speaking about. And then even on the Walmart website, which is where I purchased mine from, in some areas of the country, it was showing up as being completely sold out in all shades, and then other people in different parts of the country were able to access it, and it was just a very confusing thing. I think now all of the older formula Outlasts have been moved out, and the displays now have this formula. If you are wanting to try this foundation, make sure it's the one with the reddish orange cap that says Extreme Wear on it. Now, this foundation is not going to be for everyone. It's definitely a full coverage makeup. And what I like about it is that, for me at least, I have had no issues with it accentuating my pores or making me excessively oily. This is a matte foundation, and it actually does keep my very oily skin pretty matte. I would say that this foundation rivals some of my favorite high-end full coverage foundations, such as Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm sure not everyone will agree with me on that assessment, but I really do find that it gives me the same amount of coverage. It is just as long wearing in my experience, and I just love everything about it. People are constantly asking me in the comment section of videos, Risa, do you still like that CoverGirl Extreme Wear that you raved about back in, I think it was either January or February? And the answer is yes, 100% yes. Now, if full coverage foundation is not your thing and you prefer something that's more light, medium, buildable, or perhaps you have drier skin, my top pick for dry skin or drier skin for this year is the Givenchy Prism Libre Skin Caring Glow Foundation. This was actually sent to me in PR. I did not purchase it because any time a foundation says glow, I'm very hesitant to try it because I have oily skin, and I think that just makes sense. Most of us who are oily, we feel like we have enough glow, so we really don't need to be purchasing a glowing foundation. But because it was sent to me, I decided to try it. And there is so much to like about this foundation, especially if you have more combination to dry skin or mature skin. The feel of this foundation is so perfect in that it doesn't feel thick or heavy, but it's also not sheer and runny. It has just the right amount of coverage, and it really gives a flawless, glowing look to your skin, yet it still looks natural. For me, this did not last on my oily skin as long as my other long-wearing favorites do. This does not claim to be a long-wearing foundation. It does claim to be skin caring. It contains glycerin, which provides up to 24 hours of hydration. It has oil derived from coconut, which comforts the skin, and I believe that's the ingredient that makes those of us who are more oily a little bit oilier, and it takes away from that lasting power. But even though it didn't work perfectly on my skin, I truly feel that this is a great choice for someone who has drier skin that is looking for just a very natural looking, glowing foundation. And the reviews on this foundation are excellent as well. It has nearly 5 stars and 162 reviews on Sephora.com. Now, another buildable coverage foundation that surprised me in that I really did like it, even on my oily skin, is the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop. Actually, the full name is Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I use the shade 8, which is a light medium with warm undertones. I do currently have it on. This as I think I already said, surprised me. And the only reason why I tried it is because of another YouTuber, Samantha March. I believe I mentioned this exact story in my monthly favorites video back in May, I think it was. She was raving about this foundation, and she was wearing this in conjunction with another new favorite of mine, the Dior powder, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. The combination of this and that powder on her skin just looked so beautiful, so I wanted to, of course, run out and try it. And upon first application of this foundation, I was really impressed. It did have a very light feel to it, but it also gave me the coverage that I was looking for. I have a lot of marks from old breakouts along my jawline. I have large pores, I have fine lines, and I really do feel like it made my skin look really, really nice. And it did not make me extremely oily. It did not make me as shiny as, say, the Givenchy. I have heard from some other friends of mine that live in more humid climates than I do. I live in Las Vegas. It's obviously the desert, very dry. But my friends that live in high humidity climates like Louisiana, Florida, they are telling me that on their combination to oily skin, it's just not cutting it. It's not working as well for them. So this might be something that you could try in the winter time if you live in a more humid climate. But the point I'm trying to make is that there is a reason that so many of the shades in this product are sold out on Sephora.com right now, because it is such an easy to use foundation. It really does just perfect the skin. You can use your fingers to apply it. It has a reasonable price point at $30 or $29.50 for 1 ounce. It's $29.50 for 1.08 ounces. Overall, I just think it's one of the best complexion products of 2021. So moving on to powders, there really weren't any pressed or loose powders that were launched this year that really wowed me. In fact, I can't think of any loose powders that were actually launched this year that I even tried. Were there? I don't think so. Well, one powder that did come out this year that I, again, was encouraged to try by my friend Samantha March was this Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. It's the no powder? No, Face and Body Powder No Powder. And I have the shade 3 Neutral. And as I was mentioning earlier, the combination of these two products really gives your skin a very beautiful look. I'm starting to find, though, only recently, that I am getting a little bit extra glow with this combo than I did even a couple of months ago. But then again, it is monsoon season here in Vegas. June, July, August, it's when we get these afternoon rain showers and just a lot more humidity than we usually do throughout the rest of the year. So that could be the reason. But overall, I still think this is a great powder and definitely one to try, especially if you have, again, more dry skin, more mature skin, and maybe you've been a little bit fearful of powder in the past. I did read some reviews of this powder that said that they saw glitter in it or sparkles in it. And I'm kind of shocked because I don't see that, at least not in this shade. Of course, I haven't gone and looked at all of the testers to see if maybe some have a little bit of sparkle in them. I would be surprised if that were the case, but hey, people see what they see, and I don't see any sparkle in this, but I do get a glow. And I have heard that the lighter shades are really, really nice for setting or brightening your under eyes after you've used concealer or even on its own. So I am loving this. Speaking of concealers, there is one concealer that came out this year. At least I'm pretty sure it came out this year. I did my best to check to make sure everything was in fact released this year. I'm sure that if I'm wrong about something, I will be called out in the comments, which is fine. I'm okay with being corrected, but I do believe that this Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer is new. This Eye Bright concealer is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury concealer. It looks very, very similar, and I think, having used both, the difference is that, why isn't this coming out? Can't be empty already, it's not. The Charlotte Tilbury has more coverage. What is going on? There we go. This is just an excellent brightener. I mean, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is, to me, very reminiscent of the YSL Touche Éclat highlighting pen, which is a product that I like to keep in my purse to brighten up my face at the end of the day. If I'm going from being somewhere during the day to going out at night and I can't redo my makeup, this is the type of product that kind of brings your face back to life. And I'm seeing a lot of people use the darker shades in this, or the darker shade. I think it only comes in about 4 or 5, but people have been using, I think, the darkest one as a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. I have not tried that yet, but I definitely plan to. And brows. Let's do brows. I've been raving a lot about the Ulta Beauty Fiber Brow Tint, but I don't think that's new this year. I think it's been around and I just discovered it. But what is new is this NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I believe Glossier was one of the first companies to come out with a brow marker that allows you to draw hair-like strokes on your brows. Now Milani has one, Urban Decay has their Brow Blade, Anastasia Beverly Hills has one, MAC has one, and I really do like several of them. I think they're really, really good. But this one from NYX, just based on price alone, gets my vote for the best because it does come in blonde and taupe and soft brown, and they're all, in my opinion, good shades. Sometimes you get these brow markers and you purchase, say, a taupe, and what's happened to me is that I'll like the consistency of the product and the way it goes on, but that taupe shade ends up being orange or just really, really warm toned. So I love this. I would say the Brow Blade as well, because I really love the shade Cool Cookie. If you're looking for a brow pen that is genuinely cool toned, Cool Cookie is amazing. I'm just not sure if it came out this year or if it was late 2020. I'm talking about it anyway. It is a favorite, so regardless, I'll put that in the description box as well as one of my favorites because why not? Okay, now I want to talk about eyeshadow palettes, starting with the most recent favorite that I've raved about, which is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. The more I use this, the more I love it. It actually was just in my June favorites video, and because I just spoke about it in the June favorites video as well as in, I believe, a trying new makeup video, I'm not going to go into much detail about why I love it, but I just do. It's so much fun. If you are a makeup lover, if you love shimmer, if you love pressed glitters, if you love glam, this is a must-have. And then a little bit earlier this year, I fell in love with this Sigma Ambiance eyeshadow palette. Sigma makes some of the most beautiful eyeshadow palettes. The pigmentation of the mattes and shimmers are always just top notch. The blendability, top notch. I love that it includes a brush. I don't know what I did with mine, but I think we all know that Sigma does make some pretty darn good brushes, and I love that they include it in this palette. And what I really love the most about this particular palette from Sigma is that I believe it would be beautiful on so many different skin tones, whether you have fair skin, medium skin, deep dark skin. I truly believe that this palette would look gorgeous on you. And then finally, not finally, actually I've got 3 more palettes, but 2 are from the same collection. These are the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a Palette Pretty Blushed Beauty palette. And then I also ended up getting the darker version. I love both of these, but I'm finding I actually like the dark one a little bit more. So these are the 2 palettes. And if you have not tried anything from Charlotte Tilbury, this is a good place to start because for the very first time, she's included the powder in here, her Airbrush Flawless powder, which is one of my all-time favorite powders. And I love the bronzer in here. I just love the eyeshadow tones, the blush, the highlight. Everything about this palette to me is just so, so good and a great way to sort of dip your toe into the Charlotte Tilbury waters. And then if this is not in your price range, it's not in your budget, definitely check out this palette from Milani. This is their all-inclusive eye, cheek, and face palette. Yes, it does look a little similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, but they're not the same. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that they are. They are not. But even though I like this palette more, I still think that this is a fantastic palette, especially for the price. The highlighter in here is stunning. The shimmering blush, also stunning. I like to put my brush into both of these shades to give just a beautiful shimmering pop of pinky peach. And this is very, very travel friendly, and it's just overall a really great product. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a mascara to talk about. For a second, I thought I could mention the Lancome Lidl mascara because I really like that one. But when I looked it up prior to filming, and it said November 2020, so I did not include it in this video. And there really has not been any other mascara launch that impressed me. There have been some that I did not like at all, like the Benefit Magnet Mascara. So unfortunately, I don't have a best mascara pick for you, but I do have a new liquid eyeliner that I'm loving. I talked about this in a video about a month or two ago. This is the Stands Out Black Diamond liquid eyeliner. The packaging on this is so pretty. This is just one of the best true black long wearing liquid eyeliners I've ever used. It actually takes some work to get these off, and you do get 2 of these eyeliners for $19. So the price point is really great as well. Oh my goodness, there are 2 products that I completely forgot about. One of them is this Jason Wu Magic Matte Oil. If you're not familiar with Jason Wu, he is a high-end fashion designer. And I believe it was back in February or March, he launched an affordable luxury makeup line at Target. And if you're interested in a comprehensive review / try-on of the brand, I will link my video in the description box because I bought a bunch of Jason Wu products and tested them. And I really do still like the majority of them. But the standouts for me are this Magic Matte Oil. This product you can use either under your makeup or on top. And what this oil does is it instantly mattifies your skin without having to, keep putting powder on top. This oil is so, so good. And then I also really love, and I actually have it on, so I don't know how I forgot to mention it, this eyeshadow palette. This is the Flora 9 Matte Agave Eyeshadow Palette. If you are looking for a really, really good quality yet affordable, everyday, all matte eyeshadow palette, look no further. I am so impressed with the quality of this palette. The eyeshadow look that I'm currently wearing is the easiest thing ever. I just ran this shade through my crease. I put a little bit of the dark brown on my outer corners, and I put this matte ivory shade on my lid and then underneath my brow. So simple. And then I used some liquid eyeliner and put some lashes on and all that. And it's just something that I have been using a lot. All right, now let's talk blush and highlighter. A lot of new blush and highlight products were launched so far this year in 2021. And my favorites are the Pat McGrath Divine blushes. These are so beautiful, and I have just 2 of them, Cherish and Pink Venus. Cherish is definitely my favorite. I love a bright pink blush that isn't too powdery. And something else I've been talking about a lot in recent videos are these NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tints. I love these. They are so good. They are extremely pigmented. They're easy to blend. So if you put on too much, you can blend it out to not be so much. I also love these for the lips, even though they don't say they're lip and cheek. I've been wearing them on my lips with a gloss over it, and they work beautifully. The price point, you can't beat it, and they work exceptionally well if you do have more oily skin or if you have large pores. A lot of times tints or liquids or creamier cheek products emphasize texture, and these do not. Speaking of cream blushes that do not emphasize texture, I only have one of these Melt Cream Blushlights, but wow, I love it. This is the shade Honey Thief, and it is perfection. I don't know if it's still sold out. I remember when I talked about it in a video, it was sold out, but hopefully it's back in stock or will be coming back in stock. It's just such a great color. And it actually does last on more combination to oily skin. And then I'm also loving the new powder blush from Makeup by Mario. I only have this one shade, Creamy Peach, but I do believe that Mario really knocked it out of the park with this formula. This blush formula is exactly what I like, what I look for in a blush. It starts off sheer but can easily be built up. What I don't like is when a blush is so sheer that you have to keep going in and going in and going in to get the color built up to the intensity you're looking for. But with these Mario blushes, I find that you can build them up pretty quickly, and they are just so smooth on the skin and they give a very natural look. Now, Mario did come out with a full line of cream blushes, cream contours like this one, and I like them. I don't love them. I don't think that they're the best of the best. They don't wow me. Let's just say that. I'm not reaching for them over some of my older products. I'm just not. So the products that did wow me were, as I was saying, the blush and then this highlighter. I love the texture and the color of this highlighter. I only have one shade, Golden, but it is a highlighter that I have been finding myself reaching for over and over and over again. It is just so beautiful and perfect for my skin tone. I don't know how the other ones are, if they are just as good, but as a makeup artist, I know Mario understands texture, which is something I brought up when describing all of these products. The texture of the product is very, very important to me. I want it to go on smoothly. I want it to be very blendable and not muddy when it comes to eyeshadows and contour powders. And when it comes to highlighter, I look for a product that is really just sort of buttery, that melts right into the skin, that doesn't have big chunky glitter particles, that looks nice on a more mature skin, that has more fine lines perhaps in this area and more texture perhaps. So I personally find that the formula of this highlighter is really, really good. And it's quickly become one of my favorites. Something else that's quickly become one of my favorites is this product, this highlighter from Eldridge. It is the Elevated Glow, and I purchased Crystal Nebula. The applicator of this highlighter is very similar to Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, which I happen to have right here. The wand is, well, the wand on the Charlotte Tilbury is definitely longer and thinner. This is thicker, but they both have that angled doe foot. But these are different products. I'm comparing the packaging, not necessarily the product itself. I do use this as a highlighter as well, but I really love the shade. And you do have to be careful because a little bit does go a long way, but just like the Makeup by Mario, I feel like it gives a very lit from within type of glow. And it's just preference. If you have drier skin, you are going to prefer, I would think, more of a liquid highlighter like this one versus a powder highlight. Sometimes I layer them. I'll put a liquid highlight on first and then a powder highlight on top, depending on how glowy I would like to be. And then finally, I think, no, we have not spoken about lips. Lip products are another thing that I don't think there was a lot of new lip releases so far this year. At least not that I could think of or that I actually purchased, because I did go through my collection, my vanity, to see what was new that I have been reaching for a lot. And the only thing I could come up with were these new Huda Beauty lipsticks. These are the Power Bullet Cream Glow Hydrating Lipsticks. And I have 4 shades. I will put a photo of them up on the screen. I think the one I'm wearing right now is Honey Bun, I think. I can't remember. And I did put a clear gloss on top. But these are excellent everyday lipsticks. I personally find them to be quite hydrating. I really like the color selection. A couple of the ingredients in this lipstick are Maxi Lip, which supports collagen production to plump with lasting effects when used regularly. Hydra Berry, which hydrates and moisturizes, and Sea Fennel, which contains vitamins A, C, and E, and conditioning properties that help improve the texture of your lips. These lipsticks are vegan and gluten-free, and I just love them. I'm glad that I bought 4. I will probably actually end up buying more shades in the future. All right, now I've come to the last product, the last favorite for my favorites so far this year, 2021. These Revlon Ultra HD Snap nail polishes. Now, I don't have one on right now because I am wearing my press-on or glue-on static nails. I put these on last week and they do last me almost a full 2 weeks, and I didn't want to pop them off just to do this video, but I have worn this particular shade in other videos in the past when I've just had my natural nails. I've worn this shade on my toes. I will put the shade names on the screen because the writing is too small for me to read and I did not bring my glasses. These give you full coverage in one coat. And they're not streaky, they are shiny, they last longer than any nail polish I have probably ever used, especially at this price point. That's not, you know, a gel nail polish that is intended to last 7 to 10 days. I cannot recommend these enough. All right, well, that was a lot of products, and it will be interesting to see how many of these I'm still using and loving at the end of the year. I'm very, very curious to know what some of your favorite products of 2021 so far are. So let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And as I always say, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. I do try to upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.